Hey, what's up? If I told you that I went out and did a little bit of shopping today and bought a brand new multimeter and a brand new set of side cutters, and the total I spent was $3 total, tax and everything, would you believe me? And like I said, those are both brand new. They're not open box, they're not refurbished, brand spanking new. Would you believe me? Probably not, unless you're from the States and you've been to Harbor Freight. So that is free, and they give you a coupon to get a free one of these, and there's no catch. You just take the coupon in and you can leave with one of these for free. Obviously, if it's free, then imagine how little it costs them to make this, because obviously they're using that to get you into the store so they know buy other stuff, because they do have a lot of cool stuff. And I also got that pair of side cutters. So I was gonna actually pay for this because I usually throw all those coupons away. I don't really look through them. I very rarely go there. I don't need too much, but once in a blue moon I need some kind of specialized tool, and if it's just something I'm going to use once, there's no reason to go spend more money on a Craftsman or something when I could just go to Harbor Freight and buy a hand tool for pennies on a dollar. So anyways, this is probably, a pile of crap. I mean, it is. It is free, and if you don't have the coupon to make it free, it's $3. And I didn't even have the coupon with me. The girl behind the counter said, "Oh, we usually give these for free if you have a coupon." And then she turned around and said, "Oh, hey, look, there's a coupon right here." And then she scanned it. So I think they're just being nice. But if she wouldn't have been nice and done that, it would have been $6. But is this worth $6? No way. I would never pay $6 for this. I think you can spend $4 more and probably buy some slightly less sketchy. Well, I don't know. We'll take this apart in a future video just to see how dangerous or safe, or maybe it's not too terrible. I mean, obviously, if you buy something like this, you should stick to using it to test. You should use it for testing continuity, for testing, logic level stuff. Don't go plugging this into your mains expecting it to be safe, because, well, all bets are off at that point. We don't know that. But we'll take it apart and look. Flush cutters, these were $2 and something, I believe. $2 and some change. So this is really all I paid for, and that was free. So they looked okay, and I thought people out there might be interested in this, because, hey, if you're on a tight budget or you're a poor college student, then something like this could save you a ton of money, because flush cutters usually aren't that cheap. I don't think you can get a pair for probably any less than 15. I don't remember what the Hako ones cost. But anyways, that we'll look at later. But this, we could look at, it feels fine. Slightly rubberized hard plastic handles. It has a pretty strong spring. One thing I noticed, though, the tip is cut off. It's not very pointy, and it's actually kind of big for flush cutters. Here, get out a pair of Hakos for comparison. So as you can see, the head on that's quite a lot wider, and it's flatter. So this is a little pointier, and it would be able to get into smaller areas. Let's look at it from side profile. Yeah, and it's even thicker too. So wouldn't be as precise as like a cheap set of Hako ones like this. But why? Actually, we don't know if they cut yet, but let's find that out now. Okay, so this is just a drawer. Anytime I breadboard some stuff or do anything and then I have resistors left over, instead of actually looking at the color code and figuring out what each one is and putting them back where they belong, I just throw them into here. So sometime, if I need some specialized resistor value, I probably have one somewhere in there, but this is kind of I don't know, I feel dirty throwing resistors away, so even though they're worth, less than a cent, but I just throw them in here. But it's kind of handy for doing this, because then I have something that I can cut. So yeah, feels fine. Feels nice and sharp. Takes very little effort to cut it. Yeah, so there you go. If you want a set of side cutters for $3 US, which is basically cheaper than what cheap Taco Bell lunch would cost you, I would say that these aren't too bad. And for $3, even if you can afford better ones, there really probably wouldn't be too much of a problem with just picking a few of these up instead of getting one more expensive one. You'd use one for cutting stuff you probably shouldn't be cutting with them, and then one that you use for actually cutting component leads and stuff to keep them nice and sharp, and then a backup one, and you'd be good to go. The only downside is that the head's a little thick, a little wide, and the tip isn't very pointy, so it wouldn't be quite as good as getting into as the Hakko ones or any standard side cutters for getting into tight spaces. But for $3, you can't really complain. So. Hey, and plus, the money you save on there would be better spent towards a better multimeter. So if you're in the market to try to get started in electronics and you don't have a multimeter yet, don't go blowing a bunch of money on side cutters. If you live near a Harbor Freight, go pick one of these up for $3. Spend the extra money that you saved by buying these instead of any other brand, and put that money towards a better multimeter, because your money will go a lot farther that way. And you don't have to spend a lot on a multimeter, but sometimes the difference between a $50 model and a $75 model can be quite big. It can be the difference between getting a true RMS model or not, or getting one that has crappy construction quality versus a high quality one, or just the number of counts or resolution or features. Maybe one has a capacitance range that is barely usable, and then there could be another one that's, $10 or $15 more that actually has a usable capacitance range. If you're, I mean, you could get an LCR, but if we're talking about saving money here, obviously, the more your multimeter can do, the better off you would be, especially if you're not wanting to buy, waste money buying more equipment like an LCR. So, I guess that's it. I just wanted to show you that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get some basic tools, especially if you live near Harbor Freight. Now, it's not to say that you couldn't get online and find... Well, actually, side cutters, there's a chance that you might not be able to find side cutters for $3 online, especially if you include shipping. That's actually pretty cheap. And that's kind of the benefit of this. Even if you could find side cutters for $3 online, you have to wait for it. You got to pay, you got to wait for it, and that's just not as handy as you breaking a pair of side cutters and saying, crap, I'm in the middle of my project today, it's got to be done by Monday. You could drive over to your local Harbor Freight and then pick up a replacement on the spot and not have to wait for one to ship in the mail. So there is a lot of benefit to having a brick and mortar store around. So as much as I love Amazon, it is kind of sad to see stores like Best Buy dying out, because there's some serious convenience with a brick and mortar store. If you buy something and it's DOA, you just drive back up there and say, hey, it's dead, and then they'll let you exchange it for another one. You go home and you're fine. If you buy it from Newegg or somewhere like that, they'll tell you, don't return it to us, open up an RMA with the manufacturer, which then they'll make you mail it off, and then sometimes you have to even pay for shipping, and then there could be like a 2-month turnaround period, and then so you could go without a computer for a couple of months, versus if you'd have spent $10 or $20 more in your local brick and mortar store like your Micro Center and buy it there, they'll just let you swap it out if it's dead, and then they'll handle RMAing the broken one. So lots of benefits to brick and mortar stores. Harbor Freight is excellent. If you've never been to one and you live somewhat near one, you should go check it out. I walked through the entire store and was so tempted to buy so many things, because, man, you can buy a lot of cool stuff in there, and for a really, really, really attainable prices. I mean, if I got a multimeter and side cutters for $3, imagine what else you can get if you spend a little bit more money. They have everything from generators to solar panels to air tools to air compressors, and they had little air compressors, they had huge air compressors. I'm talking big ones. I have a decent sized Campbell Hausfeld air compressor, and mine only does 6.5 CFM. They had ones there that did like 12 to 15 plus. So, I mean, they actually have some decent stuff there. Now, as far as reliability, I've never actually heard anyone complain about any products they've bought there, so it can't be that bad. So I guess this is a yay for Harbor Freight kind of video. I really don't know what the aim or point of this video was. I just thought it was really, really incredible that $3 got me a brand new multimeter and a brand new pair of side cutters. Side cutters are excellent. This, I mean, I'm basically expecting a $5 multimeter. I mean, what do you expect for $5? But if you're on a budget and you don't have a multimeter and you're just doing some breadboard kind of projects, this would get you by no problem at all. So yeah, I guess that's it. I will see you in the next video.